Every single day, America's service members are pushed to their absolute limits, both physically and mentally. So when pain hits, and it will hit, they need a solution that's fast, safe, and, this is the crucial part, doesn't take them out of the fight. And honestly, for a long, long time, that's been a massive challenge for military medicine.
And that really brings us to the core question here, right? How do you treat pain when readiness is absolutely everything? I mean, we're talking about situations where thinking clearly and reacting in a split second can literally be the difference between life and death. You just can't hand someone a standard pill and, cross your fingers.
All right, so let's really dig into this, because to get why the solution is so brilliant, you first have to understand just how big the problem was with the usual ways of managing pain. This is what's known as the readiness problem.
And this is where you see the total mismatch. On one hand, you've got your traditional painkillers. And what do they come with? Drowsiness, a risk of dependency, slower reactions, the whole 9 yards. But on the other hand, the military's needs are, well, non-negotiable. They need absolute alertness, solutions that aren't addictive, and something that works right away. These two things just don't mix.
So this fundamental problem forced military medicine to think way outside the box. And where they landed, it's kind of amazing. They found their answer in a practice that's ancient, but they applied it in a super modern way. We're talking about acupuncture, but specifically on the ear. Okay, so what in the world is auricular acupuncture? Well, the core idea is pretty fascinating. It sees the ear as a microsystem, almost like a tiny map of your entire body. So by stimulating these super specific points on the ear, you can actually influence what's happening elsewhere. Pain, stress, inflammation, you name it.
And this is where the story gets really interesting. We jump to 2001. An Air Force physician, Dr. Richard Nienzow, he takes this general concept and creates a very specific, totally standardized protocol. He designed it from the ground up for the military, and he gave it a name that says it all: Battlefield Acupuncture, or BFA for short.
So that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in practice? Let's get into how BFA really works, because honestly, its true power is in how simple it is. Get this. The whole protocol uses just 5 specific points on the outer ear. A medic or a doctor uses these tiny gold-plated needles to activate those spots. And this is the genius part. The whole kit is so small and portable it can literally fit in a medic's pocket. I mean, ready to go anytime, anywhere, from a clinic to the front lines. And the process itself? Super straightforward. It's basically 3 steps. 1, figure out the pain level. 2, place the tiny needles on those 5 points. And 3, feel the relief. That's it. It's fast, it's repeatable, and man, is it effective.
So relief is a nice word, but what does that actually mean? We're talking about a pain reduction of up to 80%. 80. And it often happens within minutes of the needles going in. That's not just an improvement, that's a total game changer.
Okay, an 80% drop in pain sounds almost too good to be true, right? But this isn't magic. It's science. It's all about tapping into the body's own incredibly powerful internal systems. So here's what's happening inside the body. BFA is basically doing a few things all at once. First, it's interrupting the pain signals on their way to the brain. Then, it triggers your body to release its own natural painkillers, endorphins. It also helps calm down that fight or flight response, and it even helps reduce inflammation. It's like hitting a reset button for your whole system. All right, so we've got the science down. Now let's talk about the real-world impact. What does this actually mean for service members on the ground? Well, for the military, the advantages are just crystal clear. First, it's drug-free, so no weird side effects to worry about. The results are super fast, which means people get back to what they need to do quickly. And because it's so portable, it directly supports that core mission of readiness, no matter where they are. And the personal stories really drive the point home. Listen to this one, and you hear stories like this all the time. After suffering a 2-week headache that medication couldn't touch, within minutes, my pain dropped by about 80%. I mean, wow, that's just incredibly powerful. And hey, this isn't just for one specific thing like headaches. The technique is incredibly versatile. We're seeing BFA used for all sorts of issues. Acute injuries, sure, but also chronic back pain, and even just stress-related tension. It covers a huge range.
So because it's so safe, so effective, and so practical, it's no surprise that BFA has been adopted really widely. It's now a key, trusted tool for managing pain, not just for active duty troops, but for veterans in military and VA hospitals all over the country. When you boil it all down, it comes back to this one simple, powerful concept. Battlefield acupuncture is all about restoring relief for the individual so you can restore readiness for the entire force. And that really leaves us with one last big question. I mean, this whole thing was born out of a very specific military need, right? But its potential is obviously so much bigger. As we all look for better, non-addictive ways to manage pain, could this be the future of drug-free pain management for everyone?